Good morning, class. Today we are going to go ahead and start with lesson 2 on comparing and contrasting. Yesterday we worked on comparing and contrasting the rainforests, and not just we compared the tropical rainforest with the temperate rainforest. And we did that through reading our story and then by utilizing a Venn diagram. So if you remember, the Venn diagram here helped us to see what just happens in the temperate rainforest and what happens just in the tropical rainforest. What differences do they have? And then in the overlapping part, we wrote down what was similar. What could we find in both of those rainforests? How were they the same? So we're going to keep working on comparing and contrasting, working on some skills, using some of our cue words that we learned, like likewise, rather, than, however. So today we're going to do a little practice run first, and then we're going to look into comparing the rainforest again, but not against a different rainforest, but against itself. And the book we read about how the rainforest has different layers. And today we're going to compare how those different layers look different from each other in the rainforest. What different animals, what different plants grow, and how much sun are these different layers of the rainforest receiving. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and we're going to break out into partners here. I'm going to put you into partners and we're going to work on a foldable or on some practice pages. Okay. So let me show you what the practice pages look like. Our practice pages are right here. And in class, I'll pass these out and pair you guys with partners. And remember, for our partner work, we are going to go elbow to elbow, knee to knee, read quietly. We should be adequate enough space away from other groups so that we're not going to disturb them. We're going to take turns. One partner will read the first page, and then the second reader will read the second page. If our friend gets stuck on a word, remember, count to 5 in our head, and then quietly ask, do you need help with that word? And see if they need help. So through here, you will go ahead and read through the passage. Mom was baking a cake. She could not reach the flour. She jumped. She jumped again. She still could not reach it. Dad saw Mom. He laughed. Dad could reach the flour. He gave it to Mom. Thanks, said Mom. And then you'll read through the choices you have to pick from here. From the story, you can tell that A, Dad is shorter than Mom. B, Dad is taller than Mom. Or C, Mom does not like to bake. So, when we look back at the story here, what can we tell? Well, we know Mom's baking. It didn't say anything about her disliking it, so we can kind of easily eliminate that. And if Dad's able to reach up higher and grab the flour, then we know that that B, Dad is taller than Mom. So go ahead and take your time here. I'm going to have the groups break out. I will walk around and listen to everybody reading quietly. When you're done, you can go back and quietly go back to your seats and wait. After this portion is done, we as a class will go ahead and now we will turn to page 356 of our Wonders book. And when we think about those rainforests, we're going to go back and we're going to reread this today, again with partners. For my struggling learners, I will have them listen together to the recording online with headphones so that they can follow along. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass out these foldables to the students. This is a chart of the rainforest. You can see here with the dotted lines. The students are going to fold the paper in half lengthwise, tall ways, and then they're going to cut these 4 different layers out, and we're going to label them. The top layer is going to be emergent, the second layer canopy, the third layer understory, and the fourth layer forest floor. I'll just drag this down here, but you can kind of see. Now, all of this, as the students go back and reread the book, they will be able to see how each of these layers are identified in the key in the text here. So as we can see, they can reference the book, they can go back and look at the emergent layer. And what I'm going to have you students do is in your foldable, when you open it up, you're going to write down 2 animals, one plant, and then tell me about the sunshine. What's the sunshine like in that layer? So in this top emergent layer here, we can see that there's some parrots, some monkeys, some treetop leaves, and there's some sunshine here. So my students will go through and do this through all 4 layers. This way, that will help them to compare and contrast the different layers of the rainforest with each other. Now, when the students are done with that task of 2 animals, 1 plant, and writing down what the sunlight is like on each layer of the rainforest, they'll have time that they can go back and color it. At the end of the lesson, when it's all complete, we'll go through and I'll have the students come forward and share their foldables with the class so students can see the diversity within the different layers. So they can go through and compare and contrast and tell us that, look, we know that these animals, like the capybara and the fern, they grow on the bottom on the forest floor. Obviously, they can't be up in the emergent or in the canopy because they can't climb trees. And the fern needs less sunlight than the flowers that are higher up. Or just knowing that, there's different ecosystems kind of in each layer of the canopy of the 4 layers of the rainforest. After we go through and share our foldables, the students will go ahead and we'll come back together as a class and we're going to review our KWL chart that we started on our first day. So we've already read a bunch about rainforests. On the first day, we talked about what we knew. We wrote down what we wanted to learn. Now that we've read the story twice, we're going to go back and write down what have we learned. And the students will have a time to demonstrate some more of their comparing and contrasting skills. Hopefully they use some of those cue words or some of the new vocabulary like eerie and layers and regions and locations, or how things are similar or different in the rainforest. So this will help them just to review what we've learned a little bit. And then they'll be able to hand in their projects and I'll be able to look them over and everything. So from here, from this lesson, we will continue the next day to go forward and work on the students developing Venn diagrams for topics of their own choice. And then I'm going to have them write about their own, the topics of their own choice of how they compare and contrast those and actually put it into written word. So hopefully that between the students working together, reading in partners and pairs, and being able to draw and use visual representation through their foldable, they'll have something concrete that they can hold on to and show people, this is how I can tell the similarities between the layers. There's plants on every layer of the rainforest, but some of the differences are there are a lot more birds up in the higher layers and a lot more 4-legged animals on the lower layers. So I hope you guys are all staying warm and have a wonderful day. Thanks.